Hey guys, this is Arun,
And this is Abby.
and welcome back to a brand new episode of Fill Your Pockets. Today's episode, August the 16th, it's a brand new week. It's a Monday, so hopefully we can start this week strong and fill your pockets. Last week, the last two, I think, no, yeah. So last week, last Friday was our last play. We had two plays on that Friday, and we went 2-0 for the day. We actually had two plays. The first play was a parlay bet, Rays money line, and the Milwaukee Brewers. The Milwaukee Brewers got rained out, so that game got postponed. But the other leg of our parlay, the Rays, it hit. That was 1-0. And for the second play of the Friday, we also had a straight bet, Dodgers money line, that also hit. The Dodgers beat out the New York Mets 6-5, and we hit that part of our bet too. So for Friday, we went 2-0. Overall for the season, 16-10. I think we're riding a little hot streak right now, so hopefully keep it going. Um, so today, Abhishek, do you quickly want to go over Friday's games, or
Yes,
I know?
Arun did it pretty well. Solid recap of what happened on Friday. Obviously, the Brewers got rained out. They
Mhm.
played a doubleheader on Saturday. And so, with that being said, the parlay didn't really count. It was just two straight bets, but still, the Rays took care of business 10-4. You still made money because they won.
Yep.
And regardless, you still won. You still made money. Dodgers won. You made money there. Dodgers won a close game. That shit, it got close for no reason. 4-0, seventh inning, 4-4. Mets came back. They showed some life. Went into overtime. 10th inning, Will Smith. Yeah, there's a Will Smith. There's multiple Will Smiths out there. There's two in baseball. And this one, young catcher, he hit a two-run bomb, 6-4. The Mets scored one run in the bottom of the 10th. It wasn't enough for them. 6-5. The Dodgers won and the better team found a way to win, and that's exactly what happened. That's why we picked them. Then we went to the Rays. The Rays game was close to start, but the Rays were scoring almost every inning, and then it just all hell broke loose because Michael Pineda for the Twins, he got hurt, and I didn't really care. I don't think anyone cared because they were losing with him, so they damn sure ain't gonna win without him. And they got killed 10-4 offense. The Rays set the record for themselves where they had the most games in a row scoring 8+ runs. They scored 10. And listen, we rode the hot streak for them. They couldn't stop hitting 10 runs again. It's like it was easy for them. And they also had the pitching as well. McCallahan was amazing. Young pitcher, young lefty, dominant and timely hitting. And the Rays won, and we won. And that's the point. We
Yep.
all won, and that's the point.
Yeah, we're trying to fill your pockets, man. We're trying to fill your pockets. 16-10 for the season, not bad. But let's jump into today's episode. We're gonna be previewing four games today. A lot of games on tonight's slate, but we're gonna be going over four games that we like. Okay, so for the first game, we'll be previewing. It will be the Chicago Cubs versus Cincinnati Reds. It's a 7:10 Eastern Time game. Right now, the Reds are leading the season series between the two teams, 9-4. The odds for this matchup, the Reds are the favorites. Cincinnati Reds are favorites, minus 220, while the Chicago Cubs are sitting at plus value, plus 180. The Chicago Cubs have dropped their last five, so it's a losing streak going on. Abhishek, first game of the night, the Cubs versus Reds. Who you got?
Arun, it's actually worse, my man. It's actually
Oh,
11
it's
straight
worse.
losses.
Sheesh.
It's game bad now. Chicago, listen, Chicago fans, I wouldn't recommend listening to these episodes because, or even looking at our IG page because you're gonna see a lot of picks against the Cubs because there's no reason to pick them. They're just damn. They won that championship 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 2016. I don't remember 2015, 2016. They won the championship,
Mhm.
first one ever, or in 100 years or whatever. God knows when they'll come back to that because this is sad. I understand it's the end of the season, they rebuilding, but this is real bad going on in Chicago. And hey, at least Chicago fans get the White Sox, even though you probably don't root for both teams, but still, the Cubs, they're 11 straight losses and most of them, bro, it's not even competitive. I think two games were within a run. Other games are all multiple runs. It's pretty bad. And they just got swept by the Marlins. I understand the Marlins are not a good team either, but if you can't even be competitive with the Marlins, I understand they're farther ahead in their rebuild. It doesn't matter, man. You're both two teams that are rebuilding. You got dogged by the Marlins. I don't care if it's in Miami, in Chicago, I don't care if it's in Poland, man. I don't care where the games are. It makes no sense. And uh, they keep losing. But just for today, they got their young lefty, Steele. He's pitching. He's only had one start against Milwaukee. Milwaukee took care of business that game. It was Steele pitched 5 innings in that game. 3 runs allowed. So not bad. Nothing special. 3 runs allowed is okay, especially for a debut. But still, they took the L in that game. On the road, the Cubs, man, 21-40. Damn, I don't know what to say. You can't point to any positives with the Cubs, and I'm not gonna try to because I really can't find any positives except for the fact that the season's almost over. That's the only positive I got for them. We get to the Reds. Reds had that mini slump. Had that mini slump there, that 3-game losing streak in Atlanta. But then they bounced back. They won 3 out of 4. They took the series against the Phillies. They won 1 game against the Braves. So kind of bouncing back after a little mini losing streak. Right there, the Reds, hey, they have everything to play for. The Cubs have nothing to play for. The Reds, 2 games back from the wild card. It's them, San Diego, and somewhat St. Louis. St. Louis has caught fire. They've won 6 straight, 5 straight, or 6 straight, if I'm not mistaken. So St. Louis, they try to put themselves back in a position where they can compete for the wild card. The season is not even close to being over. Still got 6 more weeks. So it's not over yet, especially since they play almost every day. The Reds, obviously, as I mentioned, 2 games back. Now we get to today. Miley, he's pitching. At home, he's 6-0 in his last 6 home starts. He is way better at home than he's on the road. And for him, when he sees that Cubs lineup, he's going to be smiling. He's Miley, he got to be smiling. Simple as that. Reds, as I mentioned, they just won 3 out of 4. And in this game, pitching advantage goes to the Reds. Obviously, I don't even got to say that. Batting, it's not even close. The Reds and bullpen, relief pitching. No matter how much the Reds pitchers have been used, I don't care. I cannot back the Cubs in any of these situations. And that's why today, minus 225, obviously that's heavy. We all know that. And that's why we will find a way to pick the Reds because you have to pick the Reds somehow.
Yep. So for the first matchup tonight, we're leaning towards the Cincinnati Reds. Cubs are on an 11-game slump, so we're expecting that to continue. Moving on, second game of the night, we have the Oakland A's taking on the Chicago White Sox, 8 o'clock Eastern Time game. First game of their regular season's matchup. Right now, the way the odds are looking like, it looks like it's basically a pick 'em. You could either pick any team and almost get the same value. Oakland minus 115, Chicago White Sox minus 105, so pretty even. Abhishek, second game of the night, we got the A's taking on the White Sox. Who you got?
Value game of the day. I love Oakland in this game. Okay, we get to the matchups here. Oakland 8-2 in their last 10. They're playing very well. Yeah, they lost 2 games to the Rangers, which you don't want to see, but it happens. And to be honest, they've actually had a little bit, not struggle, but the Rangers have beat them up a little bit, a couple times. They found the number a little bit, but still. Now we get to Frankie Montas, who is the pitcher for the Oakland A's. He has recently been there. Him and Chris Bassett have carried them. And in his last 7 starts, he has a 2.5 ERA, which is phenomenal. And actually, Montas is better on the road than at home. He hasn't given up more than 3 runs in any of his last 7 starts. The worst start he gave up was 3 runs. And even that's a quality start. That's not a bad start. So he's had 7 straight quality starts. Then we get to the Oakland A's lineup. They're 27-17 against lefties, and that's exactly what the White Sox present today. Dallas Keuchel. Now we get to Dallas Keuchel. And before I get to that, White Sox 5-5 in their last 10. The one game they've won in this last 5-game streak was the game that we picked, where that Field of Dreams game where Tim Anderson had the walk-off. Besides that, the White Sox recently have not played well. They're 5-5. They're not bad. They're not great. I'm telling you, they don't care. I'm not going to say they don't care because they're professionals, but they know that, listen, man, we're just waiting for the playoffs. This division is ours. We're 10 games above. Nobody catching us. We out here, we're basically hitting batting practice, getting our numbers in, pitching, they're just playing. They don't really have. I'm pretty sure they'll tell you there's nothing missing there, but there is a difference when you know the division is ours and we're gonna go to the playoffs regardless. So I think that has made a difference for them. And besides that, the White Sox as a team, we get to the pitching matchup. Dallas Keuchel, man, he is no longer the pitcher that was in Houston. He has struggled mightily. He's basically just a guy out there pitching for innings. Someone to go out there, pitch for 5, 6 innings, so that way they have somebody out there just to pitch for them. And it's sad to say because he was once he's a Cy Young winner. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball at a time. But recently, not just recently, but in his career against Oakland, he's has a ERA north of 5, which is awful. So Oakland has had his number in his entire career. The last 4 times that Keuchel has started a game for the White Sox, they have lost all 4 of them. In his last 7 starts, 5.7 ERA. Man, he losing to the Twins. He losing to the Royals. He is not competing against the bad teams. Forget the good teams. Against the bad teams, he can't stop them. So the Oakland A's, they're 2 games behind, the 2.5 games, if I'm not mistaken, behind the Houston Astros for the division.
Mm-hmm.
The Oakland A's know because they've been in the wild card a couple times in the past couple of years, and they've lost multiple times. They don't want to play in the wild card. They want to win the division somehow so they can host a series. 1 game, anyone can lose. I don't care who you are. 1 game, David versus Goliath, it don't matter. Anyone can win, anyone can lose. And you don't want to be in that situation. So that's why the A's have something to play for here. The White Sox really don't. They're just playing to play and keep a rhythm. There's a mismatch on paper, in my opinion. -110, -115, as Arun mentioned. That is phenomenal value. I guess the only if this was flip-flopped, if this was in Oakland, I would say it'd probably be like -140, -130 maybe. But this game is being played in Chicago, and they do play better in Chicago, but I don't give a shit. I think Oakland A's is a play here. Pitching advantage goes to the A's. The lineup, for the season, the lineup goes to the White Sox, but for this game, I would give the lineup advantage to the A's. And then we get to the bullpen. The bullpen has been used a lot recently for the White Sox. Against the Yankees, they used all the relievers a lot, so I would give that advantage also to the A's. A's all across, -110, -115. This is phenomenal value.
All right, guys. So the second game of the night, leaning towards the A's. We feel like they have something to play for, sitting 2.5 games behind that first spot in their division. Moving on, third game of the night, we got the San Diego Padres taking on the Colorado Rockies. It's an 8 o'clock, 8:40 Eastern time game. Right now, season series is tied at 8-8 apiece. Right now, the way the odds are looking like, not Oakland. One sec. Where is my? Yeah,
I
one
think the
second.
Padres are fair like -130.
Yeah, about -125, 130, and Rockies are plus 115. Third game of the night, Abhishek. Padres versus Rockies. Who you got?
This is my, let's say, start the pot game where I'm trying to find a way to pick this game. I gotta find a way because I think I have an advantage somewhere, and I'm looking. Like I don't want the potatoes, I don't want the veggies, I don't want the chicken. I'm looking for what I want in this pot, and that's what I'm gonna try to find here. So now let's get into this shit. Padres, man, they almost got swept by the Diamondbacks. They almost got swept by the worst team in baseball. This team is trying to make a playoff spot. This team is trying to win a playoff spot, which they currently have. They're barely hanging on to it. They're 2 games up on the Reds, and they're a couple, like 4 or 5 games up on the St. Louis Cardinals. Man, the amount of talent that's on this team, I don't give a shit. Injuries, etc. You have way too much talent in that lineup, in the pitching, in that bullpen, to almost get swept by the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's pathetic. They were able to win yesterday because Fernando Tatis, this man is just, man, it's hard to have superstars in baseball, I would say. Like the NFL, they have multiple superstars, quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, defensive players. The NBA got all their superstars, LeBron, Giannis, KD, Steph Curry, et cetera, et cetera. Fernando Tatis Jr. If people don't like baseball, or don't watch baseball enough or aren't focused to it, he is one of the 3 players you have to watch. This man came back after, I think, 2-3 weeks of being injured. Came back, first at bat, home run. Second at bat, home run. He single-handedly won them this game. The whole team looked different because of this guy. This is not football where a quarterback can change your entire offense, or NBA where your point guard returns, or LeBron comes back from injury, or Anthony Davis comes back for injury, and you see a whole different team. In baseball, you're one of 9. I understand one player can make a difference, but not this much of a difference. So I will say the Padres missed him badly. He came back. He got swag. He single-handedly won them that game. If they had gotten swept, that would have been God knows how that locker room would feel. But they did. But they're still struggling, even though they won yesterday. 1-4 in the last 5. As I mentioned, Tatis comes back 2 homers. Now we get to the pitching matchup here. They keep switching this. So I don't know this for sure yet. It's 10:40 a.m. while we record this right now, Eastern time. Right now, some places list Ryan Weathers as the pitcher. I hope he pitches. That's the reason why I'm going to be picking this game as I am. Okay, Ryan Weathers, their young lefty. He started off his career hot. He was pretty good. He hasn't been pitching that many innings, but he was still playing pretty good, pitching great. But the last 5 times he's pitched, the Padres have lost all 5 starts. Then we get into his last 3 starts. These last 3 starts have been horrendous, like god-awful. He should not be pitching. He should be in the minor leagues for what he's doing right now. He's in his last 3 starts. He gave up 6 runs to Miami at the crib, at home. Miami can't score. He gave up 6 runs to them in 3 innings. Then he gave up 6 runs to Arizona. And then the team he's playing today at home, he gave up 8 runs to the Rockies. Mind you, I did not name you a playoff team. I didn't even name you a team that's remotely competing for the playoffs. I named you 3 of, well, the Rockies are one of the best home teams, but I named you 3 of one of the worst teams in baseball, especially the Rockies on the road. The Rockies have the worst road record in baseball, or one of the worst road records. So he couldn't compete against them. And now he goes to Colorado. The Colorado Rockies, we went over this, one of the best home teams. It's not even close, 38-21 at home. The Rockies, they've won 4 straight home games. They're 20-16 versus lefties. They actually hit lefties better than they do righties. I don't know why. I just don't know why. This team at home is different than they are on the road. It is what it is. They went on the road against Houston and against the Giants. They looked like they didn't know how to play baseball offensively. The pitching was okay. It wasn't great, but the pitching was okay. They couldn't hit the ball. They come home, they score 7 to 10 runs. It's just, I don't know why. I understand Colorado, mile high, the altitude. But, bro, it's just, it is what it is, and you have to accept it for what it is. Now we get to the Rockies pitching. I don't want to say his name wrong. I'm going to say his name, A.S. Sensintella. He's won his last 5 home starts. He pitches better at home on the road. It is just what it is with this team. And just like the team, he's better at home than they are on the road. But I don't trust this team's bullpen. And that's where I'm going to somewhat try to spin this pot a little bit. I'm going to take the Rockies in this game. If Ryan, obviously, we're recording this super early, so obviously we'll adjust on IG with our picks if we have to. But for right now, at 10:43 Eastern time in the morning, if Ryan Weathers is starting in this game, we are going to take the Rockies in the first 5 innings. You can do that. Obviously, that's you're kind of scheming here. First 5 innings, not the whole game, just the first 5 innings, plus half a run. The odds are phenomenal. I looked it up. The odds are minus 115. So you're getting tremendous value. Minus 115. Rockies plus half a run. So that means either the Rockies, if the score is 0-0 after 5 innings, you win because you have the half a run. Or I believe that the Rockies will be winning this game, at least in the first 5 innings. Because once the relief pitching comes in, I do not trust the Rockies. So I can see this game going south in the later innings, 7th, 8th, 9th. But for the first 5 innings, if these pitchers are pitching and it holds up, I feel very confident in the first 5 innings, plus half a run with the Rockies.
Ooh, Abhishek making this third game nice and spicy, huh?
Because
Okay.
I don't want to take the
Yeah.
Rockies, man, and
Right.
they're up
Yeah.
4-3, and then they blow it because their bullpen is not good. So I'm not gonna take that chance if I'm going to pick this game because yo, man, the matchup is just so nice. This dude is pitching like a high schooler right now. No offense. He's a pro. No disrespect. But recently, this dude looks like he just wants to, I don't even know. Like this is you gave up 6 runs at home. At home is when you pitch better. I understand it's baseball, the trends, etc. You gave up 6 runs in 3 innings to the Marlins at home. You gave up 8 runs to the Rockies at home. The Rockies are the worst team in baseball on the road. One of the worst. You gave up 8 runs to them. So now you're going to Colorado. Bro, there's no way I'm not going to take the Rockies, at least in the first 5 innings. If I lose, I'll take the L. That's fine. I really hope that the Ryan Weathers, he is pitching today. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. So with this game, tune into our Instagram page for the final pick and final say. Moving on, fourth game of the night. Fourth game will be previewing uh New York Mets taking on the San Francisco Giants. It's a 9:45 Eastern Time game. First game of the season series. Right now, the odds Mets are plus 175 on DraftKings. San Francisco Giants favorites minus 210 on DraftKings. Abhishek, last game of the night. Mets versus Giants. Who you got?
Damn, bro. How times have fallen flat on the Mets. Mets were like, yo, the Mets are going to the playoffs. They got a new ownership. They got some players. They're back, and then everything just goes south. Their best player, the best pitcher in baseball, he's out. He may not come back this season. Javier Baez, their big trade acquisition, he just went on the injured list. Francisco Lindor, the $300 million man, he's on the injured list. Man, it's just not good. The Yankees are coming back. Mets going down. Just how it's been throughout history. Yankees come up, Mets go down. It is what it is. And right now, man, the Mets, I feel for them because you want to root for this team. They haven't won as much as the Yankees, obviously. So that's why you root for them. We're obviously in Jersey. I kind of consider the Mets to be Jersey's team. Like the Jets, I consider the Jets to be Jersey's team, even though they both technically play in New Jersey, but that's besides the point. Regardless, now we get into today. The Mets are 3-7 the last 10. Those 3 wins are kind of a misnomer because they beat the Nationals. They swept the Nationals. Congratulations. You swept one of the worst teams in baseball. There's nothing at home. There's nothing to be proud about that. When they played real teams, they lost 0-7. They got swept by the Dodgers. And before that, I think they played the Phillies, and the Phillies swept them. So, and before that, they struggled against the Marlins and the Reds. So the Mets, man, it's just bad right now. So also 23-35 on the road. The Mets are better at home than they are on the road. They don't score regardless. They don't score on the road. They don't score at home. They don't score anyways, even though they have some decent players on the team. Now we get to the pitching. Rich Hill, man, 41 years old, 41 years young. He's still pitching. If the Tampa Bay Rays trade you, just know there's a reason why he's getting traded. And Rich Hill got traded to the Mets, and as soon as Tampa Bay called him, they should have knew something was up. And that's exactly what happened. Rich Hill has given up at least 3 runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. And in none of those games has he pitched more than 5 innings. He's 41. They're not going to abuse him because, bro, and at 41 years old, you're lucky to get 4 or 5 innings out of him. And he's doing his best. I give him that. He's a professional. He's still solid. He's giving it his best. He's a lefty. But 41 years old, I don't know how much more you can expect out of him. Then we get to the Giants. What can you say about the Giants, man? They just keep winning and winning and winning. I don't know how they keep doing it. People got to take notice. This is not a fluke anymore. This team is legit. They have the best record in baseball. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. Best record in baseball, as I mentioned. They're 40-18 at home, the best home record in baseball. And now the best part about it is they're getting healthy. They had a lot of players injured throughout the season. They're getting Evan Longoria, one of their best hitters. He came back over the weekend. I assume he's going to play, even though the Giants now actually have a lot of guys that may not play because there is too many guys. They actually have a lot of guys that are playing really well this season, and some of them are not going to be playing because they have too many guys. And that's honestly a problem that I would love to have. And then Brandon Belt, he came back earlier, like last week, I think. So they're getting healthier. And then we get to the pitching matchup. We have Kevin Gossman, who has been their ace the whole season. He kind of had a rough patch a couple starts ago, but his last two starts, I understand it against Arizona. Arizona is not a good team. They're actually the worst team in baseball. But he was able to find a rhythm. 3 runs in 2 starts. That's not bad. He's at home. He's more comfortable at home. The Giants, listen, I just don't think the Mets can score. The Mets, if they score, I think they'll score 4 runs max. I think the Giants can easily score more than 4 runs, especially because of the matchup, the bullpen advantage. The Giants are just hot right now. The Mets are just struggling. So -1, 210, I think, is what Arun said. DraftKings, the line's going up. But just like what we said with the Reds, there's too good to pass up. So we will find a way to pick both the Reds and the Giants. Maybe I'm foreshadowing what you could be expecting. But regardless, that was our last game. We love the Giants here. And yeah.
All right, guys. Pretty much wraps it up for our episode. Hopefully you guys have a great Monday. Hopefully you guys fill your pockets on this Monday, and hopefully you guys hit some bets. With that being said, that wraps it up for today's episode, and happy gambling. Peace out.